What is up, beautiful people? It's Wolfbrother Mythos from the channel Wolfbrother Hobbies, and welcome to tonight's show. Charles, good evening. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Uh, we are gonna, I've been getting hit with copyright lately. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and just put on the background music because it's gonna be messed up anyhow, right? Anyways, I hope you guys are all doing well. I was watching one of my shows back the other day. I don't like it without music in the background. You can't just listen to me with no music. Let me know if the music's too loud, though, or if I need to turn it down, if I need to turn it up a little bit. You guys let me know where the music's at. But I hope you've been doing well. Charles, you are always painting a million projects at a time. What are you working on tonight, my friend, or this week? For myself, it's going to be a short hobby show tonight. In a little less than an hour, it'll be time to go pick up my daughter, and we're all going to go see the fireworks tonight. It is the 4th of July here in the United States, and we have a little family tradition of getting some ice cream and watching the fireworks together on the 4th of July and New Year's. And so, it's just nice to uphold traditions with family, especially, oh my goodness, the oldest is going into her senior year, Who knows how many more years we'll be able to do this tradition before she's off and on her own. Wow, I made myself sad today. Oh, but nonetheless. So yeah, it's important to do the family stuff. Hope you all are having an amazing weekend. Hope your weeks weren't too tough, but if they were, I hope you get some great escapism this weekend. Doing okay, sitting in the yard trying to read some all SPI rules, Prestige Series Chariot. Prestige Series Chariot. Oh, okay, some old rules. That's cool. Some classic rules. Very nice, very nice. I had a mixed bag of results for this week. I got in a game of 40K for the narrative. I did finish up the Ragnar as intended. So many of you have already seen the Ragnar over on the YouTube Shorts or Instagram or probably a couple of the Discords. You may have seen him in a few places, but Ragnar is complete and very pleased with the way he came out. I cannot take credit for the face. One of the cool things is last week when I went to the game store for my game, I did take Ragnar's head, and I knew I wanted to practice faces for the Space Wolves army that I've been working on. And so I took the head to the manager at the local game store because he gives painting lessons, and I said, I've come to study at the feet of the master, I realize faces are my weakest skill set. Please teach me. Because, I've watched many videos and tutorials and stuff like that, and just from watching them, I just haven't been able to quite get it. So, anyways, I got an in-person lesson on faces, and it looks great. He did an incredible job. And then while I was playing the game for the narrative leak, he actually went back and did the extras because I told him I wasn't going to worry about eyes, that, I just don't have the steady hand for the eyes yet, but I'll practice it sometime in the future. He even went ahead and painted the eyes and the teeth while I was gaming, which is cool. I'm really pleased with the yellow on Ragnar's sword because I did a couple of things here. So I did use an airbrush for the last two layers, but for the base coat, I did the sponge blending technique to mix up the various shades of pink and white for the undercoat. And I think that really helped me get a nice smooth gradient. And then I just used the airbrush to put the filter color over and then one highlight. And I really am pleased with the way Ragnar's. I wanted the legendary Frostfang to come out looking nice, you know what I mean? So I'm really pleased with the way Ragnar came out. I did order 2 more bottles of water effects, and so I did want to incorporate them on more miniatures. So I put a little bit. Ragnar comes on this little broken piece of, uh, like concrete Aquila, and so I wanted the rock to be kind of jutting over the water, and him leaping off of that. So yeah, really pleased with the way that's come out. My second box of Barbarians have been primed, 15 millimeters, very nice. Just waiting for me to get motivated to paint them. Found a third box on eBay, ordered it. I want to have at least or close to 100 figures for each 15 millimeter army, be it orcs, humans, or whomever. That's really cool. So you can have some nice big battles. That's awesome. So I told you guys last time I was going to try and have 10 blood claws built up by the show this week. That did not come to fruition because it turns out I am slower and not nearly as proficient at assembling miniatures as I am painting them. And so I did get a couple cool ones. I started with the pack leader, or if you're not into the Space Wolves range, most Marine squads would just call them the Sergeant. And for the power weapon, I decided to go with an axe, just because I like axes. I like to grab up an axe and smash that like button in the name of the Emperor. So I went axe and plasma for the pack leader. Part of me wanted to do the claw. The way the GW articles have him kind of looking like Lucas the Trickster. But I was like, you know what? I kind of want to get another cloak like I did for when I kit bashed my firstborn Lucas the Trickster. Wait till I have a cloak to do another pack leader in that style. And then this one is cool. Man, I was sitting there. I had forgotten that they were such dynamic poses. And so I was expecting both legs to be touching the ground. And I was like, man, why are these legs not coming out right? Oh, yeah, it's a running pose. So I put the dagger in, what do they call it? The monomolecular edged combat knives that the Marines have. I put that in one hand and the chainsword in the other, while he's striding forward. I got that running pose, so the left leg is running back while the left arm is pushing forward, and same thing for the right. It's very juxtaposed, kind of crossbody, like when you're running. So I felt like that was pretty cool. Although that reminds me that because I didn't put a pistol in his hand just for some WYSIWYGness, I need to go back and put a holstered pistol on him, on like his belt or something like that. So yeah, those are the only 2 I have assembled so far out of the new box. Although I'm not in a super rush to get busy painting them now, because myself, Brother Hellchild from Hellworks by Hellchild, and Brother Rob from the Miniatures Paintbrush have all decided we're going to do a collaboration and spend 3 months trying to paint all of our box sets up together. So I don't want to jump ahead of them. And I know Rob is finishing up the last of his Skaven before he gets started, and I know that Brother Thomas is waiting for some parts to Kit Bash. But yes, definitely it's a big project for me because it'll include the Space Wolves box set, and then on top of that, my wife Lily is getting me a combat patrol, so that way I'll have a nice big restart to my Wolves army. But Brother Rob, and I think Brother Rob and Brother Thomas both have 2 of the Space Wolves boxes, so they got way more to paint than I do. Oh, they have definitely taken an ambitious bite. And that is okay with me, because, yeah, that might be a little too much for me. I don't know if you can hear it, but the people in the area have started their fireworks for the night. My poor puppo is being driven so nervous right now. But yeah, in about 35 minutes, we're going to go pick up my daughter, get some ice cream, and we're all going to go see the fireworks together. What have you been up to, Nate, my friend? I know you are also no stranger to big projects. You usually have some pretty big, pretty cool projects on the go. Assembling, I got a bunch of 28s that are kind of primed on the sprue, and they've been that way for quite a while. Maybe I'll glue them together and save them for Mini Mormont's Paint Challenge in September. Oh yeah, I thought about doing the same, but I am itching to jump on this Space Wolf project as soon as possible. Although, if I'm being honest, I really need to get some more primer. Fair few for the rest of the year. Just got to do some shots tonight, but I should hopefully come back in force this time. Excellent, excellent. That's good. I always enjoy seeing your stuff, my brother, and I know that your projects always come out looking ace. So I did Ragnar. I built up 2 blood claws, a bit less than I would like to have. But also, I did some painting at the shop. Well, thank you so much, my friend. Thank you. That is a massive compliment. I did, while I was at the shop, I have my little go bag that I take with me all kinds of places, which is funny because I left my my best brush, my broken toed brush, at the shop, but I have my little, go bag I take with me places. And while I was waiting to get in my own game, I did some painting on the Custodes, and they are pretty much ready. They've got all of their base coats down and a couple of their highlights. They are ready for the Streak and Grime and Black Oil Wash treatment. I usually do 2 enamel washes with these guys. I do 1 layer of Streak and Grime and 1 layer of black enamel wash. So they are ready to be dirtied up. And if you haven't seen my Custodes before, they go from looking clean and pristine like this. But because I've always thought that Custodes are a little too bright, and when they're a little too bright, they're a little too gaudy, I like to really dirty them down until so all those blues and golds come out way more muted, like this. Okay, apparently we're not going to focus on the miniature this time. There we go. Yeah, so all those dark washes really kind of mute down the really bright and vibrant tones of my Custodes. And then, of course, I bring back a little brightness with the purple dirt and the pink bushes and stuff like that. So, and the pink power weapon effects. Hey, Ashley, good to see you. Thank you for joining tonight. Fireworks should have been canceled for some reasons or other. They came out looking great. Thank you so much, Ashley. Why are fireworks going for you tonight? Is it an American holiday? Yes, it is American Independence Day. And so that's why they do fireworks here. So, yeah. So yeah, so there I just realized I need to do the blue on this chap's shoulder pads. It's still solid gold, but aside from that, yeah, I got most of them base coated and highlighted, and they're all ready for that wash. So, and this is the last squad of custodies that I have. I have, after this, because I want to go ahead and get the custodies finished as I move on to the Space Wolves. So while I'm waiting on Brother Thomas and Brother Rob to start on this project, I need to finish the squad. I have one Vexilla for my Wardens. Because currently I have a 4-man squad. I wouldn't mind moving to a 5-man squad. This one is started in the same way that I did my older custodies, where I started with the blue primer and worked my way up to the highlight color and then put on the gold. But lately I've been doing it the other way around, starting with black, doing up, dry brushing the golds all over, highlighting the gold, and then going in with the blue, and I find that I like that better. So going back to the older way just feels like more work. So yeah, I just need to do the one Vexilla and then the one captain on foot. Because I have a bike captain, I have a Terminator captain, I have Valerian, and I have my Trajan Valoris slash Henry Cavaldor. Constantine Valdor. So, yeah. So once I finish up that last captain and the last banner guy, and this squad gets its wash and its basing and whatnot done, I'll have a fully done army. I do have somewhere, new in box, a Forge World Contemptor Achilles, which is the dreadnought with a big las cannon spear, which is pretty cool. And the other thing is I have one Venerable Dreadnought from the 2nd edition Horus Heresy set. That's also for my custodies, because I could use a Venerable Dreadnought if I decide to run the Dreadnought detachment. Apparently, the Venerable Dreadnought in that detachment is especially good. Let's see, I need to take some time. Oh, Greg said hi. Hello, Greg, my brother. Lots of barbecue and drinking. Absolutely, absolutely. Although, yeah, since my daughter's working tonight, tomorrow's when we're going to do some grilling with just some simple hot dogs and burgers. No real barbecue, but we're going to be doing our cooking out tomorrow. I need to take some time and figure out what colors I used in the first box of Barbarians so I can make sure they match when I paint the new ones. Oh yeah, some people like variety, but I am usually a stickler of I want this army to come out looking, like they match. I have no idea how you smash out that many videos. That is honestly why I need to do better, but I've come to just really rely on my live chats. Because making the time to do a whole video oh my gosh, it can be so daunting. Yeah, Greg and Ashley, they do quite a few videos. They're on top of the content. Mr. Fish, happy freaking Friday. Whoa! I hope you're doing well, my brother. Congrats to Mr. Fish, who just completed his last characters that he has in his backlog. And now it's just, now it's just bodies. No more leaders in his backlog. He's just got troops to go through. So that's pretty cool. Same, I think. Same. I have to have them the same. That's cool. Gamers with Coffee is excellent. They have live stream on Sundays, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 4 p.m. Central, which is when I watch them. So many boys. I think you said you have 60 boys in the backlog. Is that correct? That's many, many boys. Many, many boys. Would be handy if I had someone to film for me and edit. Be nice to get weekly videos out. Oh, I understand that, my friend. I understand that. I have been saying for a hot minute now that I was going to take an inspiration from Friendly Neighborhood Inquisitor and Mini Warmut, that I was going to start doing weekly hobby vlogs to show my progress, because I don't showcase as much of my work on the channel as I could be. And, usually I'll put out like a finished product on a little YouTube shorts, but I think the hobbying along the way is, nice to keep up with. And also it's just, kind of fun to keep up with what people got painted this week, that kind of thing. And I've been saying for a hot minute now, months probably, that Brian's been doing. I'm like, I'm going to start doing a weekly hobby update too. That seems fun. Oh man, I still haven't gotten around to it. Yeah, give or take. I have some old second edition boys, but I'm not counting them towards the total too. I also have a few that I need to finish up. I got some second edition boys from Big D from Gamecraft Dragon, and I think that's something I want to do this October. Hey, Puppo, you feeling nervous? You feeling nervous with all the fireworks? Sweet Puppo. My big old shepherd. Sorry. She's so cute. She's sitting here a little nervous, hiding under. I've got a little like pull out section of my desk. I think it's for, I don't know, signing stuff or something. But it's like a little slide out like board. And I usually have it open because I paint over here and I, like do other stuff over on this side. And anyways, um, yeah, she even though she's a big old shepherd, she tries to fit underneath the desk right there. Poor sweet girl. Greg is the one that edits almost every video. We both film, but normally the camera's on a tripod. Nice. I've got 5 resin printers now, up from 1, so I can batch print all in a day compared to a week now. That's crazy. That's pretty awesome, though. So with that many printers, do you have a do you sell bits, or do you print? Do you print stuff on? Do you print commissions and stuff like that? Like that seems like a either a job or at least a side gig. Some old orkies, hey, baby. I don't think you're going to be able to fit any more under the desk. A sweet girl. I don't think the camera will reach, or else I'd show you guys this beautiful girl here being so nervous. Okay, personal use and for YouTube. One breaks down, I have backups, mainly sent from sponsors. That's pretty cool. Although you have some really high quality content revolving around you printing out stuff, so I can definitely see why you've been sent, why you've had a print company sponsor you, because your printing videos are ace. Years ago, my dad's Dalmatian would shake so bad because of fireworks. You could see the fleas running across her white fur body. Made it easy to grab them and remove them. Poor girl. Or boy. Oh, or white. Yeah, poor girl. So I'm going to show you guys some pictures. And it's kind of part of, well, it's got to do with an upcoming video I plan on doing. And so, like, I don't get the full play-by-play, I don't record my games when I'm at the shop. I'm trying to be respectful of my opponent's time. And it was very clear that my opponent here didn't want to be on camera. He moved typically when I was taking pictures and stuff like that, which is absolutely fine. And he was very cool letting me take pictures of the battle. But I totally respect and understand that he didn't want to be on camera himself. My dog sleeping next to me, like the fireworks, is irritating her. But yeah, they were very cool about letting me take pictures and stuff like that. But what I'm saying, long story short, is that I may not be able to do a battle report when I'm playing games at the shop. But one of the things that I thought was pretty cool is in the narrative. One of the things we do, we communicate, um, for the narrative event or the narrative league in Discord. And we have like this website called Administratum where we submit like the formal stuff, the score, of the game and what mission we played, and basically, yeah, all the formal stuff regarding that. But in the Discord, what we post in the under the pictures, usually someone, often the victor, but really, some people enjoy writing more than the others, and so it's really whoever wants to, will put in a kind of a narrative story style mock up of the battle, and they'll do things kind of story form. And what I want to experiment with on the channel is, probably doing like a slideshow of the pictures of the battle, kind of like when I'm talking to you guys here on the live stream and telling you guys about, how my games went. But I thought one of the things I would do is maybe try the narrative reading from these games and see if people have any interest in that. Because some people like the story of that. Because some people just like the game, some people just like the painting, but some people like the story that goes. I don't know if you guys have had this before when you play, but I have had people that I've just done random pickup games in the store. But before we fight, they'll say, "Okay, let's think of a reason why your Space Wolves would be fighting my Black Templars. Is it a training exercise? No, everybody does a training exercise. Let's think of a reason why they might be fighting." And it's kind of interesting how people kind of get into the story of whatever battle that they're in. And like I said, I really like that. I think it's neat. And I'm just going to give you one of the write-ups I did for our most recent battle. And I'm thinking about maybe when I take pictures of my games in store for the narrative, it almost seems a shame to write up something kind of cool, and it just go here. So I'm thinking about doing like little video shorts with these. Anyways, let me just read it to you guys, and I'll kind of click through these, and yeah, you tell me what you guys think of the story. Okay, so this was last Saturday. The mission was Hold the Line. This was Hab Sector Galveston, and that's because the narrative event we're playing on the planet is called Tejas. It's like the 40K version of Texas here that we're fighting over. The attacker were the Necrons. Defenders were my Custodes, and the game was 30-80 in the favor of the Custodes. And that attacker-defender thing is really important because this particular battle, there were 3 objectives on my side, 3 objectives in the middle, and no objectives in the Necron zone. And they had to attack and take an action to destroy one of my objectives every turn. And we scored at the end of the game based on how many he destroyed and how many I had left. Narrative jokes are the best jokes. I think so too. So in this, when I was writing it out as a story, I decided to refer to the 6 objectives we were protecting. Since the sector we were in was called the Hab sector, I decided to refer to each of the objectives as Hab blocks, which if you're familiar with any sci-fi kind of lore, a Hab block is usually like a sci-fi apartment building. It's like usually just like a block of like vertical apartments more or less, but domiciles where people live, in a futuristic or sci-fi setting. It's basically like a very sci-fi apartment complex. And so, since we were fighting over the Hab sector, I decided to make the objectives Hab blocks. I said, I'm going to go into my reading voice now. All seemed peaceful on the night of 06.028 in the Hab sector of Galveston. Many of its citizens rest uneasily in their humble quarters, caring not for the politics that threaten their world. Imperial government, planetary government, many of these citizens just kept their head down and kept working, not caring who was in charge. And at the end of the day, all they could hope for was a little reprieve in the quiet hours of the night. An explosion thundered throughout the night, shattering the relative peace and obliterating any chance of rest for the people of Galveston. Immediately, Captain Power and his Sapphire Guardians were dispatched, those are my custodies, dispatched to the scene. In the ruins of a destroyed Hablock, the monstrosities known as flayed ones wreaked havoc on the populace. Slick with the gore of their victims and wearing the freshly sheared skin, these Xenos abominations effortlessly cut down fleeing civilians and the responding security personnel alike. And I'm just going to show you guys another one of the pictures there. You can see already, so since they were able to infiltrate, the flayed ones were already on the objective. So as soon as the game started, they burned that objective. Okay, we're going to stop here on the picture of the flayed ones running amok along the Hab sector right here. Captain Power quickly took in the scene, assessing that one of the 6 Hab blocks in this area had been destroyed before the battle had even begun. He had to stop them before more lives were lost. To his left, he sent out the venerable custodian Jason David Frank, another Houston celebrity, Jason David Frank from the series Power Rangers. In life, he had been a peerless warrior. Now clad in the armor of a Galatas Contemptor dreadnought, Captain Power knew that he would be more than capable of putting a stop to the flayed ones in the destroyed Hablock. To his right, he sent out his champion, the Blade Mistress, Devora Valen. Leading a squad of custodian guards, she charged into a Hablock that was being attacked by Necron wraiths. Atop the Hablock in front of him, a massive Necron leader, known as a Triarch Stalker, perched upon its spidery legs of living metal. Behind him floated a sea of destroyers and heavy destroyers, lighting up the night with beams of emerald green energy. He turned to the custodian guard behind him and gestured to the various destroyers. "Sapphire Guardians, to battle! For the glory of the Emperor!" And with that he ascended to the sky. His squadron of Virtus Praetors gathered around him as he went to confront the Stalker atop the Hablock. So that's the setup for the battle. You can see here, this is where Captain Power was with his Virtus Praetors, and he had a group of custodian guard behind him. On the other side here, we had the Blade Champion, Devora Valen, with her squad of guard, and a tank over here. And just on the other side of this building was a squad of wraiths bearing down on that Hablock. All right. By the time the next set of pictures came around, Captain Power and his Virtus Praetors had taken out the Triarch Stalker here. And you can see that the big spidery metal legs are gone. The wraiths are gone. So just the Reanimator and I forget what the name of I think it was an Overlord here. Oh, that's the one I just had. The destroyers took out two of the Virtus Praetors. The heavy destroyers back here, all game was trading shots back and forth with one of the Caladius grav tanks. Friendly neighborhood Inquisitor, I was just talking about you earlier. And over here, the Contemptor Dreadnought, Jason David Frank, cleaving through the flayed ones. As this, I can't remember what the name of this big beam of destruction thing over here is. But in the back here, you can see two Terminators drop down to catch up with it. The last of the Virtus Praetors fall. Captain Power continues to engage with the destroyers. And untouched, the squad of Custodian Guard push up the middle. So you can see that they've pushed the Necrons off of the center hab block. Same thing over here after taking out the wraiths and the character supporting it over here. All that is left for the moment is this reanimator. Later on, okay, this is where the Overlord comes down. And this is it's the destroyer version of the barge. It's the version with that's a big gunboat. Yes, friendly neighborhood Inquisitor, great channel, love his work. And friendly neighborhood Inquisitor, I think you'd like Nate's work as well. The center has been cleared out, except for the heavy destroyers in the back, but they'll be taken care of soon. You can see here that all this firepower has wiped my Guardians off of this hab block over here. Yep, that's where I just was. On this side, the Alaris Terminator Captain. So this was a huge brick of Terminators with the Captain. And there was a bunch of destroyers with the blades. I can't remember. I think they're Scorpec destroyers with the blades. They chopped the Terminators up. And then the Captain here with his Admani Mortis axe chopped through all of the destroyers. But man, with a 4-up invul save and 4-up field no pain, this guy took a lot of hits to put down. And then he got back up on a 2+. I think it was a 2+. It was crazy. Finally, Captain Power falls in battle, but the Custodian Guard charge the heavy destroyers and finish them off. But you can see over here on the right, a second hab block has fallen. And by the end of the game, as a moral victory, Jason David Frank takes down this Destroyer Lord. And at the end of the battle, only 2 of the 6 hab blocks have been destroyed. So the fighting was brutal and bloody. Before it was over, only a few combatants remained on each side. Before their withdrawal, the Necrons had been able to destroy 2 of the hab blocks. While their loss was regrettable, 4 of the hab blocks remained safe and intact. It was a victory for the Lex Imperators, which is the faction I'm playing in. In the aftermath of the battle, the Custodians would receive a single transmission. 2 words on the screen simply read, "Ayo, chill." The Necron's warband name in the narrative is Ayo Chill. And so myself and one of the other guys at the end of their narratives, we've been having every battle end with a transmission from those Necrons telling us, "Hey, yo, chill." Dreadnought Jason David Frank, but his friends call him Tommy. Exactly, exactly. That was the. So this narrative that we're in is based around the planetary sector Tejas, and so some of us are putting in characters that are Houston celebrities. There's actually someone in the who has in their army Samuel Houston for Sam Houston. There's a couple of other Texas celebrities. So for my Texas celebrity in my army, actually studied at his Rising Sun studio here in Houston a couple of times. And so I had to put JDF as my Texas celebrity here. So yeah, I think since we have to do that for the narrative anyways, I think I might start doing, just little after action reports with these dramatic readings on the channel. Just because, like I said, it's a little bit of narrative fun since we're already doing it for the league anyways. Or for the campaign. So, anyways. That's a cool story. Thank you so much. So yeah, I figured since we're doing it for the league, you get a little fun out of it by putting it up on the channel. Also, I think the Dreadnought is a great way to, pay homage to. It's not recently passed anymore, but still the fallen JDF. All right, we got about 10 minutes left of the show, and I'm going to take the final 10 minutes, guys, to show you. I do have an art of the week this week. You guys know I've been all about painting my Space Wolves lately, and so I'm going to shout out this week Amalia's Miniatures. So, she's also doing new content on the new Space Wolves box set. You can see her there with her new Space Wolves box set. And she did a really cool take with the Space Wolves in this box, or at least the Battle Leader. You guys know I love synthwave colors, and so you can see here she's got listed pastel Space Wolves. And so I checked it out, and oh my god, I thought this was one of the coolest Space Wolves I'd ever seen. Just, I love her blends and transitions are so on point. The pinks to the purples to the blues to this, from blue to like this kind of bluish blue-green kind of color. Some would almost call that like a seafoam green. I just think it's so cool. And then the contrast where you've got kind of a similar, but like a dark blue to, dark green blue to a greenish to like a yellow green, a very contrasting base. It pops real nicely. It's framed beautifully in all the gold. I really love that. Happy 4th, my brother. When he died, I went and bought the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie on Amazon. Awesome. Awesome. I think I have both of the movies. And then, but also around that time, I went and bought the CD I had as a kid, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, a Rockin' Adventure is what it was called. It was a CD soundtrack for the show. Most of the music was done by Aaron Waters, and I had that as. I'm afraid to rewatch Turbo, but I had that soundtrack when I was a kid, and I loved it. And then one day, as a teenager, I was listening to the music, and I used to practice to that music while practicing my kickboxing and stuff like that. Anyways, my dad comes home, and I had the music on and was jamming to it, and I hadn't done my chores. And my dad, being the wonderful asshole he was, took the CD out of the CD player, and he literally held it up to my face and snapped it in my face because I didn't have my chores done yet. It was... So, anyways, so when JDF passed, I ordered myself another copy of it. But as an adult trying to tack down a soundtrack from 30 years ago, I paid way too much for it. I paid like a bill for it. So, Yeah. But I'm happy I have it. I love it. Anyways, back to this beautiful job by Amalia's Miniatures. This is such an incredible paint job. Yes, that was brutal. Only the most responsible of financial decisions. Exactly. Again, once again, the blend on this shield here, like all of her blends are just amazing, but the blend on this shield really looks good. And here you can see a better angle on the blend on the base. Just, again, brilliant work. I apologize if it's a little blurry. This was a reel she had done. So, but I was so enamored with the paint job and wanted to share it that I just screen captured while the reel was going. So if it's a little blurry, that's my fault, not her fault. Didn't JDF play in 4 of the Power Rangers movies? So there were only 2 like actual movies, but then there were a couple of made-for-TV movies, which he played in those as well. Uh, so he did a Power Rangers movie and Turbo, a Power Rangers movie, which were both theatrical productions. He was in Forever Red, which was a made-for-TV movie, and I can't remember the 4th one. It may come to me later. That reminds me, though, I don't have Forever Red, so I should probably add that to my collection. He was white, green, red twice, and black. Yes. Ah, Once and Always. That's right. Thank you very much. I need to get both of those made for TV ones and add them to my collection. Especially since Forever Red has my favorite Red Ranger of all time, Austin St. John. Oh, can we take a second to appreciate the blend on that power sword? That is a beautiful power sword. I have never been good, like, if you, when you see my power swords, a lot of people like my power swords, and I really appreciate that. But usually mine is like I'll highlight the edge, or I may do like an edge and then like a diagonal line across a straight blade like this. But I've never been good at the way she's got the blend on one side and then a mirrored blend on the other side. That mirror finish on power swords is I've never been able to do. Like I've tried it several times and it just never looks good when I do it. So that is a beautiful blend on her power sword. And also, is this non-metallic gold? Holy crap. That is high skill indeed. Beautiful, beautiful work. I'm going to show again, in case anybody wants to look her up, give her a follow on YouTube. It's Amalia's Miniatures. Not on YouTube. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she has a YouTube channel. I don't know. But on Instagram, she's Amalia's Miniatures. So give her, give her a look up on Instagram. Check out all her work. Really gorgeous work. Beautiful blends. And like I said, I saw that and it really inspired me. Like, I can't wait. Even though I'm not going to do like pastel or synthwave for my wolves, it really inspired me. Like, I can't wait to get the painting. So, Gamers with Coffee, and I think Charles is part of this as well, are going to be kind of playing. I mean, really, Brian's doing all the playing, but we are going to be taking part in a campaign over on Mini Warmutt's channel. Check that out. You'll see he's put up a couple of recent videos for a game called 5 Parsecs. Let me get the actual name, because all I ever remember is the first part. 5 Parsecs from Home, and that's a series he's going to be doing, a game he's going to be doing over on his channel. But in a future series he's got coming up in a couple of months, he's doing a couple of, so it's like you have these warband slash mercenary units that you can roll up and play as, and he's taking people from his viewer community and from Gamers with Coffee viewer community, and especially where they have some overlay. And yeah, it's on one team. It's me, Ashley, Greg, and Charles. We're part of the squad known as the Hellhounds. And then on the other one, it's Ice Wolf, uh, Telemachus, and help me out here. There's two others: Ice Wolf, Telemachus, and they're in the Star Wolves. And so we could be competing. In fact, if new players join, we'll be in a bidding war to try and recruit them, which is interesting. Walkabout Gaming, yes. And Meandering Mike. That's right, Walkabout Gaming and Meandering Mike. And they'll be in the Star Wolves. And so, yeah, that's going to be pretty cool. And he had each of us pick a trait of something we were good at. I believe Ashley was sniping. And myself, Ashley, and Greg just picked our names from our previous game, Twilight 2000. And so Greg is still Doc. His trait is being able to fix people up. Because my Sarge was a brawler in the last game. I picked brawling. So sniper, brawler, and a Doc. Charles, what ability did you go with? And I don't. I'm going to be honest. I don't remember the abilities from the other team. But yeah, it was pretty. I thought it was pretty neat. And he's going to roll up the characters, and basically, he is going to just because trying to get everybody scheduled together for two separate warbands probably be a little nuts. So he's going to do the actual playing and put it in a video. But then we're all in a chat group. So between sessions of him playing, we can talk about what our characters would be doing, what quests we want to pick up on, what sponsors we pick up, and that kind of thing, which is really kind of cool. And I'm really looking forward to being part of this. Blame the dice if you end up dead or in the med bay. Blaming the dice is what we all do. Ah, gosh darn, the dice rolls. Just like Saturday during the game, I had my grav tanks shooting into the heavy destroyers. And I kid you not, these things are like better las cannons, and they re-roll hits against vehicles, and they reroll wounds because they're twin link. And I kid you not, I would get through like 3 or 4 hits on these heavy destroyers, and he'd be like, "Oh, sweet, I saved 3 of them." I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" It's saving on a 6, so it's like, "Oh, I rolled 3 6s in a row." I'm like, "Oh gosh, darn it, stupid hot dice." But I had some good rolls too. It was a fun time. The Necron player. Awesome Necron player. In fact, in the local convention that I've gone to the last couple of years that I've talked about on the channel, he has been the best Xenos player 2 years in a row. If more people want to join, the teams can make bids for their services. Of course, depends on who has enough credits. So it's important that we take well-paying jobs, and we take jobs that we're able to complete. It's going to be fun, guys. Definitely keep an eye out on Mini Warmutt's channel, because it sounds like this is going to be a really fun game. And like I said, I'm excited to be part of it. So thank you for inviting me, brother. We'll have Greg with us. He'll be our doc, so we should be okay. Hey, always good to have a doctor with you. All right, guys, it is time for me to go pick up my daughter, and I'm going to go take the family to watch our little tradition is we get ice cream and we go to watch the fireworks together. And so now that it's time for her to get off work, we're going to go follow up on that tradition.
So ice cream and fireworks time it is, guys. It's important that we make time to spend with our family, especially on special occasions like this. We create lasting memories that the family is going to remember, for a long time to come. So I hope each of you have an amazing weekend. Spend time with your families or other loved ones. And yeah, thanks for joining me for tonight's chat. If you guys liked tonight's episode, please make sure that you grab up an axe and smash that like button in the name of the Emperor. Drop us some comments down below. Feel free to be part of any of tonight's ridiculous conversations. And if you are not yet subscribed to any of these legends here in the live chat, you're not subscribed to any of the friends and family down below in the Friends of Wolfbrother Hobbies. And if you're not subscribed to this guy, we'd love to have you as part of the pack, part of our hobby family here on Wolfbrother Hobbies. Till next time, fam, stay frosty.